How do you say no to sin and temptation? This week we've been learning that it's all about God's incredible grace for us. That grace, if you really understand it, will actually make you want to dance, even if you have the worst dance moves in your entire family. I can't forget a conference I went to help people who are struggling with sexual sin. The speaker was doing a really good job of telling us how bad pornography is, all the consequences and the terrible things that happen if we get into that habit. But that's really all he told us. Everyone in the room was feeling guilty and condemned and beaten down. Nobody felt like dancing, which is why I couldn't help but laugh out loud when I heard the ringtone. There's another guy in this massive auditorium and his phone went off at the worst time, the time of kind of guilty silence. And it wasn't just any ringtone. The ringtone was the CNC Music Factory 1990s jam, Everybody Dance Now. Have you heard it before? Everybody dance now, do, 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 do. And he pulled the phone out of his pocket, except it only got louder and he couldn't shut it off. I mean, God was just having a field day with this guy. And I was trying to laugh and he finally got the phone shut off and the speaker went back to this guilt trip about terrible sexual sinners. But when we left the auditorium that day, nobody felt like dancing. Everyone felt condemned, just realizing sin was terrible, but they never got to realize how good God was. I compare that day to a story that Jesus once told about a young man who committed sexual sin. He squandered his father's money on wild living, on prostitutes, and on impurity. But when he came home, his father embraced him in compassion and grace. Have you heard this story? It's called Jesus' Parable of the Prodigal Son. The father put steak on the grill. He had a party and a celebration. And out in the field, the sexual sinner's older brother heard something. He heard music and dancing. You see, when you understand God's amazing grace, it just makes you want to dance. There's no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, because God is full, not just of consequences for our sin, but grace towards sinners.